Welcome back to another Healing Beyond Diagnosis podcast with me, Corey. Today we're going to be talking about when the transition of the rock changes. We're going to look at it three different parts. First part is when you just don't choose. It just happens. Your family adapts to new situations. It just happens. Family could either evolve or not evolve. The second part is you were forced to give it up because of limitations now or situations, but you're no longer able to carry the weight. Third option is when you choose to not give it up, but to hand it off, to pass it along, to say, here's the keys to the car. You've earned it. I'll prepare you for it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at all three parts. Now, we've already looked at, the weight of being the rock of the family and how destructive it could be. Then we looked at the positives of the rock of the family, of how you could support and bring everybody together and make a system work as a leader and as a parent, something. Today is the final of the trilogy of now what? So when you don't choose to be the rock, maybe you're exhausted, maybe you're burnt out, getting older, your family, they may change, or simply they just can't, or you just can't keep carrying the weight that you used to. Maybe your body's breaking down, maybe your memory's starting to go from an incident, maybe whatever can happen happens. It happens. There are accidents, there are events, there whatever it is, you aren't able to do it like you used to do. It's weighing you down. It's taking a toll on you, and this is the point where if you being the rock became part of your identity, then who are you when you're not the rock anymore? That's a big question that a lot of people don't actually think about. If I'm the rock of the family, I'm the strong one, I hold everybody together, I'm this and that, and all of a sudden the structure changes and you change and you're not that person. You try to hold everything together, but your identity might take a little bit of a blow. Your ego might take a little bit of a blow. And that could be really harmful and hurtful, especially if you're not prepared for it, if you don't see it coming. So you don't even question yourself of, what do I do now? The now question is, who the hell am I now? I'm not the one that people come to like for advice, or I'm not the one that people say, hey, look at Corey, he's hanging in there, he's tough, he's holding the fort, I'm not that person anymore. Used to be, but I'm not. That's okay. And we'll circle back to the it's okay part. So what else in part one? You might get over just the weight of it. Gets down on you. Makes it hard. Maybe some of the family took over some responsibilities. Maybe they didn't. It's hard to say. Who knows? maybe the dynamic of the family has changed so much that nobody knows what's happening anymore. So, part 2. When life chooses that you are not the rock anymore. Think about that. So the last one was maybe the family decided that we should leave Corey alone. He's going through a lot right now, and we don't want to burden him. Or this one is life just came and ripped the rock right out of your hands. You had no choice, no decisions, the Band-Aid got ripped right off you. Why? This is a heavy one. We were talking before about who the hell am I? At least last time there's like a gradual kind of, you could see it piece by piece, part by part, and taken away from you. You can just see it happening and coming. And this one, it's just gone. This time it's just gone. Maybe it's gone because of an injury. Maybe it's gone your diagnosis. Maybe disability. A major change. Something happened in an ability or the circumstances or the structure of the family, of the support of whatever you were the rock of. There was a change, a major change. Your memory's gone. You maybe you just can't speak. Maybe you're going through rehab. Maybe there's so many possibilities of why this rock could just be taken away from you at no fault other than you got dealt a crappy hand in life. And now you got to go through of, so, well, now that it's gone, it's, now, like I said, it really hits you. There's so many different ways that you wish you could prepare for a person about doing it. I was talking to somebody the other day, a gentleman there, and I put a post up on, I believe it was Facebook, and he said, yeah, being the rock of the family is hard, but this is what brought this up was, how would it be if the rock of the family is the one that had the event, that's injured, that no longer has this? And he was telling me about his family and the situation and all this other stuff. And it was quite the story. And he was telling me about, he was grieving himself that he didn't have a choice. It was just gone. He didn't lose it. He didn't give it up. He just lost it. And his family had to struggle because, again, there was no warning. There was no preparation. There was nothing. It was just gone. And the family had to try and figure out what was happening. Like the family not only lost a father, a husband, the partner, the toy fixer, the taxi driver, the rock of the family. And now, because that one piece of the family structure changed, it affected the entire family. So now they got to get used to a whole nother life. They all have to adapt to different roles, different versions of who you were, who he was, who I was, and who they were. So this leads me to the part 2 question. When the rock is taken away from you with no choice of your own, like when it's just ripped out of your hands and the family is affected by it and they have to adjust. Can the family adjust and everything thrive with this new reality? Or does everybody remain lost in the chaos of what changed because there wasn't somebody there to take the reins to be, I got you, lean on me, we'll get through this, because they never had to do it before without the help, without the guidance, without you, without me, without mom, without grandma, without dad, without grandpa, aunts or uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters. It's hard when one person does a majority of the responsibilities of the house. It's when my mother passed, she did a lot of the around the house stuff and all the bills and everything else. And I had me and my sister and my nieces. We know how to do that kind of stuff. But my dad, we had to teach him on this whole new life, this whole new world of, you're going to have to do it on your own. So we kind of came together and we made up plans and computer programs and spreadsheets and documents and, things like that he could follow and adjust and make. And, that tells him to do this on this day and this on this day. And here's this and that, and blah, 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 and teach him how to do laundry and show him how to use it and how to work. And my dad was always a strong man. He was a good caretaker for my mom, but when it came to household chores and everything else, he didn't know much, and so we had to sit there and show him how to do everything. And it wasn't the invisible grief. Like we knew my mom was gone. We knew that happened. It was seeing my dad kind of grieve the loss of not just his partner and his wife. It was the one who paid the bills. It was the one who did this. And all of a sudden, everything he'd never had to think about or do became his responsibility and added, stress on his life and worry and anxiety. And, we just, as a family, we stuck together. We got through it. My family really was supportive of everything. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I could have supported my dad the way that I was supportive of him during that time. And, just my mom was the rock of that family, and that rock was taken away. She was the one that we all went to tell everything to. That rock was gone. So then we had to adjust. We all had to adjust. We're still adjusting. There's still things that kind of go on, and where'd she put her recipe book? And kind of things like that. But we could also firsthand say, when that rock's gone, that family structure could feel like rock bottom for a little bit. A lot of different emotions come out, a lot of different feelings, a lot of grief, a lot of sorrow, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. Fear is big. Afraid to go on, afraid to do this, afraid to do that. Afraid of moving on. She's been there 43 years of my life. I've been married to her for, 50 years. Gone. That brings up the next point, though. That rock's gone, but you could rebuild. What my mother has done for my family wore off on all of us. So we were prepared. We knew what we were doing. We knew how to hold things together because she taught us. And that helped a lot. And it was tough, on all of us. We just had to try and figure out, this happened. Now what? Who are you? You know, who are you? What are you going to handle? What are you going to handle? We had to figure out our roles within this new system. And it was odd. It was weird. It was different. It wasn't a power struggle for anything like I thought it might have been. It was, I took care of this part. My nieces took care of this part. My sister took care of her part. As a family, we got everything done. We got it all put together, everything else. All right, part 3. When you choose to pass the rock on. This is great. This is the last. I wanted to end on this part. I wanted to finish this positive, especially at that last part. That last part was hard. Things got emotional. Things got personal, especially with me. I know other members of my family are, felt the same way because we've all been there in my family at one point. So you're choosing to give up the rock. You're choosing to, like I said, pass on the keys, pass the torch, because you're doing that, you're still willing to carry some of the weight. You're just not going to carry it all anymore or in the same capacity that you were. Now you're setting rules and guidelines. You now are going to ask for help. You're going to share those responsibilities. You're going to recognize what your limits are. You're going to stop automatically. You are no longer say, I'm fine. You make sure that the next person that has to carry some of this rock weight is prepared. You're going to leave them instructions, manuals, blueprints, guidelines, rules, limitations, do's and don'ts, and a plan when things get overbearing. Unlike what happened to you, it's time to break that cycle of just being appointed or just taking the role. It's time to break that cycle. It's time to break it up. Pass it on healthy to the next generation. That way, they're prepared. It's better, and you don't disappear. You're not there. You're just changing your relationship with it. You're still there in case they need you. You're there when they need you. You still offer help. You still do this and that. However, if somebody comes up to you and they say, hey, I need to talk to you about this, you say, hey, go talk to so-and-so. Hey, go talk to Alex. Hey, go talk to them. Hey, this is their section. That's not me. Hey, go talk to this section. That's not me. It's time to break that cycle of the family rock, to carry that burden. It's time to spread it out. Break the rock. Everybody carries pieces of it. Rebuild the new family.
Sorry I cut out the last couple of minutes there of the podcast from yesterday. I just found out today. And now I got a dog barking. It's crazy. Going back, yes, it's time to break that family cycle of one person being the rock. It's time to break the tradition, the ritual, the torment. It's time to create something healthy for the family to do. Yeah, it's life. Anyways, yeah, that wraps up pretty well the trilogy on being the rock of the family, the pros and cons, the good and bad, the wins, the losses, and yeah, made it this far and without coming into a rock quote. So if you ain't cooking, who the hell are you? All right, till next time, make sure you give this a like, a share, and till next time, Corey, Healing Beyond Diagnosis podcast. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.